Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bernadette from Burn Stitches. Happy Monday everyone. For those that are in the US, happy Labor Day. I hope that you're able to take advantage and had a long weekend or have been able to take the day off today. And for those that are from the rest of the world, I hope that you're having a great start of your week and month. It is now September, which means it's Sampler September. So in today's video, I will be going over all of my fun Sampler September plans for this month. But before we get into that, let me just go through my two finishes. So besides these two, I only have one whip that I worked on since my last video, and that is actually part of Sampler September. So I'm very excited to show that I ended up having two finishes at the end of August, and these are projects that I've really enjoyed stitching on. Not that I don't like stitching on any of my projects, but these two were really fun. One of them in particular, I could not put it down. It's always been one of those projects that I've always enjoyed every time I pick it up. So without further ado, let me show you both my finishes. So these are my two finishes. They are completely two different styles, but this is what I love about cross stitch, is that you can have as many style of cross stitch designs that you can do as long as you find it fun. So they are both on Q snaps right now because I am planning on bringing these to the stitching retreats to basically put on the brag table. So I can't frame it because I'm flying and they're just not gonna pack well if I frame it. So they're currently on Q stops right now, so you can see them all in its glory. And then once the retreats are over, then I'm gonna be looking for frames to put these on. So let's go over the first one that I finished. This is Sail at the Bubbling Cauldron by Praiseworthy Stitches. I love this so much. I know I say that in all of my projects, it's true, but I really do truly love this project. This was so fun. Again, this is Sail at the Bubbling Cauldron by Praiseworthy Stitches. So Praiseworthy usually have a haunted house that they release every year, and so ever since I've discovered them through Rika, the House of Stitch and Stash, a few years ago, I have been collecting these haunted houses. So this is actually my second finish of a haunted house from Praiseworthy. The first one that I did was called Widow Black B&B, which I finished last year, and that one was huge. I brought that over for Stitch West October of last year, so that one was super fun. And then I started a brand new one during that time frame, and it is now done. This is smaller than Widow Black B&B. It's about half. So this was just super fun. So this fabric is on 32 count linen from Nicholas Flamel Design. This is the purple fabric that came with that Harry Potter Potions collection. So if you remember, I had the green one that I used for Midnight Watch from Blackbird Designs. So this is the other half of that collection. This was the purple one, and I thought that it would look really good for this project, and it did. So here it is. This is on 32 count, so I stitched this 2/2. It's so fun. I have to point out a few things. So I think I mentioned this before, but this bubbling cauldron right here, those letterings are 1/1 stitches. These ones as well They kind of look like spiders when you look at the chart, but when I stitched it, they look more like frogs. So I don't know, I think they might actually be frogs. And then as usual, there is a spider web for this project. Oh my gosh, that one was hard. It doesn't look that bad, but this actually took me close to 2 hours doing just that web. And then, you know, what's really fun about Praiseworthy is they just have many different kinds of elements in their project. So as you can see, it has clay buttons in here to really bring this to life. I bought the button pack from eBay. There was a seller selling the actual button pack, but I think if you have an LNS that sells the buttons, these are from the Just Another Button company. I think you can just buy these piecemeal. But yeah, it's super cute. Look, there's a little Frankenstein hanging out by the window. There's the moon. These are Smyrna crosses, so there are some specialty stitches. So that's a Smyrna. There's satin stitches right here that makes up the brooms. And then there's tons of French knots from this project. And then on top of that, there's also some beading. So this is a little cute, a little pumpkin, more bats, and then the tombstone. So yeah, that's been super fun. I absolutely really enjoyed this project. There's like another stitch. I think it's called Rhodes. Yeah, a road stitch. So these are road stitches, and I had to read up also, like somewhere in here, I had to really read up what are a half rows versus a full rows and how to do it. So that one was ultra fun. So I am so excited to be done with this project because it means that I get to start another project in October, which I don't know if there is an actual term for, you know, stitching something spooky in October. I know people do, but I don't know if there's like an actual term for it. But if not, I'm gonna call it Spooktober. And I don't know if that's already like a term that's been used, but I'm gonna say it, Spooktober stitching. There's gonna be another one, and I will be showing that in later in my video. But again, here it is. I just can't say anything else. It is just so good, so fun. I actually originally started this with my friend Jordan, the tattooed stitcher, during Stitch West, and so I hope that she pulls this out in October because I would love to see her project. She's also stitching it in a gorgeous fabric, so it will be good to see how all of these projects look different. Oh, I did note, I forgot, there is a spider over here too. So yeah, super fun. I love this so much. The one thing that I have to say for Praiseworthy, there are 1/1 stitching here. So if you are planning on starting this project, and you still want to use 1/1 floss, maybe only do 36 instead of 40, because those 1/1s are going to be a pain. Like the oranges, some of these are 1/1, so that the blue 1/1s will fit. So just a word of advice in case you are planning on doing this on a smaller count. Yeah, I would highly suggest just doing 36. So yeah, here it is. So excited. It looks gorgeous. Okay, and the Q snaps, they're basically 17 by 17, just so that you know what the sizing are. It doesn't fit in a 11 by 17, so yeah. All right, so my next finish after sale at the Bubbling Cauldron. This happens to me every single time, but after I finish with a whip, like after I finish it, it just gives me so much energy to go ahead and look through my stash and figure out what else I want to finish. So after that, I have then decided to finish this other project. This is Goodie Grimwood from Plum Street Samplers, and oh my gosh, this is so good. I enjoy this project as well. This was first love at first sight. What was I talking about? This was love at first sight when I saw this pattern at my LNS, Needle in a Haystack. And as soon as I saw the pattern, I also went ahead and kitted it up because I just love this so much. I started this last September, and so it's been about a year since I finished this. So I also truly enjoyed this project. This was literally death by fill-in. There's so much fill-in in this project, so just be aware of that. If you're not into block stitching, I basically binge watched a lot of shows when I worked on this project. So these two houses right here, I think they're just connected with different colors, but this two right here, I basically watched the entire Olympics, like just filling these in, and then the grass. I watched half a season of Law and Order SVU, and you know that each of those episodes are about an hour, so half a season is about 12 episodes. So that's how I got through this. This is Oscar. I'm gonna need a cone of Oscar, honestly, because I've used that skein so much. I wish Weeks Dye Works sells it by the cone, because I would totally buy one. Yeah, so speaking of Oscar, I ended up using up the entire skein and then some, so I had to borrow one of my Oscars from one of my open whips to be able to finish this project. The model stitch is also on 36 count, and the pattern only called for one skein of Oscars, so I don't know if it's my style of stitching, and that's why it didn't make it all the way to the entire project. But just be aware, in case, maybe you might want to pick up an extra skein just in case. But yeah, I truly love this. This is on 36 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim, and the flosses are mostly called for. I did make some adjustments to some of the colors because, like I said, it was love at first sight from my LNS, which means that I was hoping that this would look exactly like the model stitch, but I think maybe the dye lots may have changed. I don't know, but I basically changed the color of the flowers. I believe the called for is actually a DMC, but the DMC that I have was a lot darker, and I wanted it to be more on like the paler side. So I ended up switching this to a Victoria Motto floss called Pumpkin Mist. And then the bird, the darker bird, so the called for is Weeks Dye Works Terracotta, but my terracotta is more orangey, and I liked the red bird from the model stitch, so I changed this to, again, a Victoria Motto floss called Nancy's Faded Red. So I changed that, and then the rest are called for. So let's take a look. I love that moon. That was so cool. Apparently these were berries. This is Goody, and the bird, all the flowers, oh, all the Oscar painting. I actually really love the pumpkins in the background. This was just so fun to stitch, so Absolutely love this. I finished this on the last day of August, and so I was like, this is the perfect way to end August. I finished this project right before it hit 1 year, so I'm just so happy. I already have a frame in mind for this that I've always envisioned this will sit. So after Stitch West October, I will be framing this. So I think for now it will sit like this in my Q-snap, so I can at least enjoy it for, you know, the entire month of September. But yeah, I truly love this. But yeah, just beware of Oscar. It's a handful, so maybe do a little bit of Oscar, then do a little bit of Oscar, and then do some, so that you don't get burnt out. But here it is again. I love this so much. I can't even. They're just so good. Okay. Seriously, I love my project. I'm very happy with all of the ones that, you know, I have as whips. I can't complain. They're just so good. All right, so those are the two main ones that I've stitched the last 2 weeks, just because I wanted to get them done. So there's not too much other updates. So it's now September. A lot of people do Sampler September. There was also another hashtag last year by Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher, called Back to School Sal. I don't think she's hosting that this year, but that's okay. Honestly, these technically count as a BAP, so most of the samplers are counted as BAP, so that could still continue. But basically, Sampler September. So my original plan for Sampler September was to pick one sampler that I have been wanting to start for a while now, and I did. But then after I started stitching it, I was like, I want to do more, because I do have quite a bit of stash, and I really love my stash, so I wanted to see it come to life. And so I have decided that I am going to do Sampler September for the full month of September. I basically am planning on starting a sampler every single week, and I will be working on them for 3 full days. So 3 full days of working on my new start, and then for the rest of the week I will be picking up a sampler whip that I already have started in the last few years, so that those projects also get a little bit of love this month. So I will be starting that this entire month, so that will be fun. So you should be able to see 4 new starts this month, and then you'll also be able to see progress in some of my whips that are that I've started over the years. So I'll also go through those on which projects I picked, and yeah, go from there. And then I did the math, and I will basically have, it's going to be like 3 days of new start, 4 days working on a whip, and then towards the end I'm going to have 2 days where it's not assigned to any project. So what I'm going to do during that time is I will either pick the project that I worked on for the month of September that have the smallest amount of stitches, or if there are any samplers that I'm very close to finishing, I will continue to pick that up during those last 2 days of September. So that is my plan for Sampler September. So without further ado, let me first show you the project that kicked off for this month. I am super excited. This is also going to be part of my haul, because this is one of my purchases for the month of August. So first of all, my project. It's in this project folio from Sheba Designs. It's like a little bunny, and I love it. So this is what it looks like. It's a hat, hands across the sea. So my kickstart for September back to school is Jane Hopkins 1875 from Hands Across the Sea. I love this sampler so much. Look at the flowers. They are gorgeous. Look at the vase, like holy moly. I absolutely love this. I fell in love with this. I saw people finish this using just a DMC. So most, like, I think all, don't quote me on that, I'm pretty sure, but at least a majority of Hands Across the Sea always uses the Swa silks. So Swa Doll J, Swa 100.3, like one of those. But they also give you a DMC conversion. So if you don't want to use silks, you can just use cottons. And I've seen people stitch it just on DMC and it looks amazing. Like, you cannot go wrong with whatever floss conversion you decide. I mean, look at how gorgeous this is. So what I ended up doing is I ended up purchasing the Vicki Clayton silk packs for this that Vicki Clayton put together for this project, and they are amazing. So that is part of my haul. But yeah, I just wanted to show what the project looks like, and wanted to show I finally have started to fully use my Winterberry case because of this project, and let me show you why. I can't tell if I've ever shown you what the contents of my Winterberry. This is the one that sits outside with me all the time. Let me just fully unzip it. I bought this from Hobby House, but this is what the top looks like. It has like a few things. So I have a bunch of scissors here because you can never go wrong. A bunch of needles. I have a pin cushion from Saju that Memphis Sarah E gave me for my birthday. I also have this tin from Saju again with like a needle minder on top. I have a bunch of bent needles in here that I just never thrown away, but yeah, that's the top, and that is my wort jar. I'm trying to be better at putting away my orts because I still love to continue to leave this in the edge of my couch. So that's what the inside looks like, and then when I lift it up, it's very deep because this is the large, but this is what the inside looks like. The reason why I've been using this is the silks for Jane Hopkins. They are gorgeous. So Vicki Clayton, if you don't know, her flosses usually comes in spools, and I don't have a good way of storing the spools, and so I have moved this over to floss drops. I basically put the stickers from her spools in here, and then I also wrote the DMC conversion so that I know what symbol it corresponds to for the chart. And so, but the only thing is these are very bulky, so it doesn't truly fit in my project bag. So I have been storing it in this Winterberry case like it advertises you can do. Like, this is supposed to store like all of your, like, this is supposed to store like a whip, but I was like, I don't really, I love project bags, and so, but then I was like, but then the project bags doesn't really fit, at least my folio. I feel like it's gonna be so bulky. Anyway, so these are the colors for Jane Hopkins, and it is amazing. In total, there are 32 colors. They are gorgeous. Look at those greens. Oh, here. So gorgeous. They're so shiny and silky and soft. If you've never tried Vicky Clayton, I highly recommend this, especially if you're working on projects that calls for like an NPI and you don't want to spend the money. NPI, Soie d'Alger, if you don't want to spend that money, usually the Vicky Clayton silk packs are much more affordable. So if you want to try that, go ahead. I highly recommend. Her shipping is also quite good. I paid $4 for shipping, so it's not terrible. Most of the time, I think like she has another like level of shipping, which is $8, but that's flat rate if you buy a bunch of silk packs, which if you do, more power to you. I would certainly love that. Anyway, so I started Jane Hopkins, and this is my progress. I love this. So my fabric choice, because I truly love what this looks like, the cover. I like the color of the fabric. It's like on like the yellowy creamy side. So the called for fabric is Lakeside Linens Vintage Sand Dune, and that's going to be very hard for me to find, and so I ended up choosing Hogbristle from Fox and Rabbit. This is 40 count, and holy moly, absolutely love this so much. And look at how good the Vicky Clayton like looks like. I think there's hair in here, but look how gorgeous the stitches look. 40 count on Vicky Clayton is the way to go. So it is amazing. I absolutely love that. This is basically one full stitching day. I could not put it down. It is just amazing. I love this so much. My dog's hair is all over this project. I gave him a bath and he's been shedding, so I need to brush him. But yeah, it is so good. I'm so excited. So yeah, this basically kicked my like mojo for sampler September in high gear, and so I am just so excited to just basically get more. They're just so fun. I could not stop. All right, so then I ended up planning the rest of the month, and so let's go through the whips that, not whips, let me go through, I guess I should start with the whips. Okay, so the whips that I am planning on pulling out for this month, this is my project bag from Jordan, the tattooed stitcher. I don't know why I did that because the project is right here. So the project, one of the projects that I will be starting on or working on for September, I will re-pick this up. This is the Birds of a Feather by Blackbird Designs. So this is one of the samplers that I will be working on. I started this in April for Stitch West Spring. I started this with her. Jordan actually already finished hers, so go check out her last video from 2 weeks ago if you want to see what hers look like. It's gorgeous. She stitched hers on 40 count. Mine is on 36 count. This fabric is called Vanilla Latte from BeStitchMe, 36 count linen. I still love this. I just now know though that 40 is what makes the Vicky Claytons look really good. So this is still good, but I think if I could, I would go and do this on 40 count. But I still like how this looks. Really gorgeous. I love these. I'm about 40% done probably. I have like, let me show you what the pattern looks like so I don't have to describe it without showing you what it looks like. So this is the pattern, and so I've done three, and so I have two more, and then I need the birds. Well, I did one of the birds already, so I have one of these, this, and this giant vase, plus like the inside. So not too far along, or not too far back, but yeah, this is what that looks like. This is a, I believe this is a reproduction. Yeah, so this is so pretty. I believe this used to be out of print, and then they reprinted this again, so I was able to grab a copy from Abby Top Knot Stitcher when she was at Stitch West in October of last year. So pick this up. I am stitching this, like I said, on Vicky Clay & Silks, and so this is the colors for that one. They are so gorgeous. These are on my Sweet Autumn Stitch floss drops from Etsy. Absolutely love this. And it came with this, like, I bought this keychain from her, and it looks so good. Or like keyring. It's gorgeous. I have two favorite colors from this, which are these two, hand in hand. So this also has a funny name. This is Tarts Knickers. I love how gorgeous this red is. And then this one brought me to life because I had, like, my stitchy bug was like waning, and then I stitched on this color. This is called Jadeite, and oh, this is so good. So this basically kickstarted my mojo again in stitching. So yeah, really excited to continue to pick this up again. And this is probably going to be like a really good contender for being able to finish soon. So maybe that will be the project that comes out the end of the month. One thing to say about Vicky Clayton as well, this is how she does her colors. So make sure you take a picture, so in case you accidentally lose this, you have a key. And then one thing to note about Vicky is you have to pay attention with her naming, because sometimes they're the same. So for example, there's two Steelies in here, but as you can see, the numbers at the end is different. So you gotta make sure you're picking up the right color. So yeah, just something to keep in mind with the Vicky Clayton Silks. So that's one of my whips that I will be picking up. Let's see, what else? Of course, I will be picking up my Fox and Rabbit, my very first sampler that I started. This was my back to school sampler September entry last year. And this is Hannah Dawson 1831 from Fox and Rabbit. I need to finish this because the flosses are glorious and I just never pick it up for some reason. So I definitely will be making more progress in here. I'm about to get into that house. So still no progress since the last time I showed this, but forgive all the wrinkles. I just don't iron until this is like ready for framing. So yeah, this is my progress for Hannah Dawson. This is on 40 count, lightly salted, not roasted. This is a Lugana, 40 count Lugana from BeStitchMe. So it is so pretty. This was my intro. I can't believe it that I never stitched. This was also my very first 40 count fabric. And it is gorgeous. I think one of the reasons why I don't pick this up as much is because there's a lot of 1/1 stitching in this project, and on 40 count it is quite a bit daunting. So I can only pick it up a little bit because I get really tired. Like, for example, do you see, oh, sorry, do you see this? That's 1/1. 1/1 on 40, that's 80 count. So yeah, these like little flowers too, those are 1/1. The little bird, or yeah, this bird right here, 1/1. So they're gorgeous. It's just, you know, 1/1 stitching on 40 count is pretty crazy. I need to put these on a floss ring so they're not all over the place, but Hannah Dawson uses fancy silks. This is the Classic Colorworks Belle Soie silks. They are gorgeous but very pricey, but I love it. So I really am excited to pick this back up, and I am hoping that by next year I should be able to make good enough progress to get a finish. So that's Hannah Dawson. I'm trying to remember. What other ones I have. Okay. Then the next whip that I will be picking up, I will be bringing this with me on my trip. I have a work trip coming up, so I will be bringing this with me. But this is the Redbird sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais, called Redbird Sampler. And this was my progress. I started this for Rika's birthday. I think her hashtag was like Rika's birthday sampler sal, Rika's B-day sampler sal. But yeah, this was my progress on that. I love this. This was one stitching day, so I definitely need to pick this back up because it's not a big project either. Again, this is on a folio from Sheba Designs that I purchased a few years ago. But yeah, so this is the pattern Redbird sampler. I actually picked this up and fully kitted this at Stitcher's Paradise in Vegas in like I think April, not 100% sure. I think it was April or May, one of those. So good, so pretty. So the fabric is, from what I remember, this is 40 count Desert Taipan by Fox and Rabbit. I loved how it looks, so it's just so good. And I'm using all of the called for, which is a mixture of DMC, Classic Colorworks, and Weeks Dye Works. So again, I need to put this in floss rings. I have a habit of doing this and they just get really tangled, so I want to make sure that I will get those ready to go. I'm trying to remember what else I have, but I feel like, oh, duh. Okay, now I remember. So that is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is my 4th whip. This is the last whip that I will be picking up for Sampler September. And this is another Hands Across the Sea. This was my birthday start for this year. This is Sarah Rinder 1841 from Hands Across the Sea. And this is my LNS exclusive. So again, my LNS is Needle in a Haystack. So I don't know if you can purchase this from Hands Across the Sea, but you can, I know that you, for an LNS, you can only purchase it at Needle in a Haystack. So this is Sarah Rinder. I love the middle with all of the birds drinking water. So that one's beautiful. But yeah, if you would like to order, go and give Needle in a Haystack a call. I know that they have a lot more copies, but I started this on my birthday and I do intend to making more progress on it. This is my progress. Same progress as last time. I haven't picked this up, so I'm excited to get this on a hoop later this month. So this was my progress so far. This is on 46 count Lakeside Linens called Porcelain. So this is my first 46 count project. It's not too bad. Honestly, it's not that much different from a 40 count from me, but maybe it's just how Lakeside Linens dyes their fabric. I think the holes are pretty well looked at, so not a huge issue for me. This is a project folio that I picked up from Stitch West April by Diane, the Beehive Stitcher. So really pretty. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her products in October. And this was my birthday start, so I splurged and picked up the SWA 100.3 silks, and they are gorgeous. My LNS had this ready to go, so I purchased the whole thing. It's great. I do know Vicki Clayton has a silk pack for this, but you know, when you go to an LNS, you just get suckered in. So yeah, these are the colors. They are gorgeous. I also wanted to try SWA silks, so I said why not. This is basically probably one of the few times that I will choose SWA over Vicki Clayton. So yeah, Avera SWA 100.3. They are pretty. They're very nice to use. So yeah, that's Sarah Rinder. I'm excited to put some stitches in on that one. All right, so those are the whips that I will be working on for Sampler September. So now let me show you the new starts that I'm planning on starting for this month. So I have been in a mood to kit up. So it's just been super fun kitting up. My fabric bin is bulging, like to the point that every time I try to put it back, like I have these IKEA bookshelves, every time I try to put it back, it just keeps spilling out and falling apart. And so that kind of motivated me to go ahead and start kitting things up, because I'm just now being a hoarder, collecting stash and not using it. So I put together a bunch of stuff that I wanted to use my stash for. So that is super exciting. So first, so let's go through the new starts that I will be doing for Sampler September. So the first one, I have this on a PDF, so I don't have a paper copy, but the first one that I will be starting is Stacy Nash, and this is Gathering the Greens sampler. So that's what that looks like. It's so good. I'm a sucker for houses, and the house is yellow, like a shade of yellow, and I am all for that. And so I went ahead and kitted this up. This is my very cute fall project bag from Sheba Designs. I need more fall project bags, and so I am either gonna buy a bunch of project bags soon, or I'm gonna look through my fabric to see what I can make. But my fabric pick for Gathering the Greens is this beautiful fabric from Lakeside Linens called Bittersweet. This is 40 count. So yeah, this is what the color looks like. And then I pulled all of the flosses. So the flosses for Stacy is not that much. It's actually just these colors. And I put it in a ring so they're not all over the place, but they're all Weeks Dye Works, and so I thought that they would look really good with these colors. and you should be able to see the white. So usually the palest color is what I wanted to make sure it shows up really well. So really pretty. I love Stacy Nash because she doesn't have a huge amount of flosses. So you have conch. The next one is parchment. So that's the one that I wanted to make sure pops. This is Garrison Green, Grapevine, Charcoal, Cinnabar for that pop of mauvey pink, Bee's Knees. I think this is basically the color. I love it. And then Brick, Havana, and of course my number one, Oscar. I need to replenish Oscar, so LNSs, please be on the lookout. I will be purchasing like 20 skeins of Oscar. Seriously though, it is seriously used up so much. So that is Gathering the Green sampler that I will be starting this month. And then let's see, this is my planned start. So one of the weeks in September I will be out of town, so I will be going to a work conference. So during that time, instead of doing a news, because my work conference is at the beginning of that week, and then the second half of that week will be Acorns, the Pacific Northwest Summit. So I will be going to that retreat, and so I'm switching where the first half of the week will be whips because I don't know how much time I'll be working, or how much time I will have stitching wise, and so I'm bringing a whip. And then during the start, like during when I get to Acorns, that's when I'll do my new start. And so my new start, this is on this very cute owl bag. I got this from Stitch West. This is from Joyful Stitching, so cute. And it also came with a Notions bag. Well, I purchased it as a set, so you can actually, I think you can just get it on its own, but I purchased it with the set. But this is housing my Acorns Retreat New Start project, which I will be working on all that weekend. And it is Away We Ride from Blackbird Designs. I'm so excited. Everyone has been stitching this, but I think that it would just look really good. So this is the project. It's a perfect project to start because it's not that big, but it's also like in theme with sampler September. And so I will be stitching this on a 36 count fabric from XJU Design. This is called Grandma Slip. And so I wanted to show you how cool this fabric is in case you've never seen it, but it has like these yellowy like spots. So I thought that would be perfect. I was deciding between this and Grandpa Sleeve, which is like heavily like sprinkled with black dots, like very Halloweeny, but I didn't want it to distract from the pattern because it's a gorgeous pattern, and so I picked this, which is a little bit more subtle. So yeah, this is going to be the fabric that I will be using for that. It is gorgeous. And again, need to get my floss rings. You can get those from Amazon, like binder rings, but this is the Notions bag. So let me show you the colors that I picked out. So this is half called for and half from Stash because some of the colors I don't have. So for example, I do have pumpkin pie, but I need it for other projects and I don't want to get another one because I saw that brass is actually a good color match for it. So I'm subbing out pumpkin pie for brass from Color and Cotton. And then I don't have Garden Gate either. And they were saying that Garden Gate, is it Garden Gate? Yeah, Garden Gate. So it's weird. When you Google Garden Gate for 123 stitch, it looks brown. But then I was like, that looks charcoaly. Like this is supposed, like Garden Gate is supposed to be over here. And so I also looked at pictures from Instagram, and so I don't know what dye lot 123 stitches thing it was. So I ended up picking this one up called Santa's Boots, so that I thought it would look really good with onyx, so a little bit of a contrast when I do it. So this is what that border will look like. I thought it was a good combination. And then I also don't have pecan pie, and so I am thinking I will sub pecan pie for Hazel. This will be my sub for now. Let's see, maybe it might still be too bright, but for now this is my sub for pecan pie. And then I also don't have wood rose, and so I'm subbing it with this color called burlap because I thought it would look really good. It's basically gonna go against this color called burlap or maple syrup, like against the houses. So I thought that this might be like a good enough like contrast. They're actually coming off the same color almost, but burlap is slightly cooler. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking for Away We Ride. I'm very excited for that. It's one of those projects where I had to wait for a bit because a lot of people stitch it, but I also wanted to join in on the fun, so I'm excited to also start that. So pretty. Okay, and then so that is the third one. All right, and then I will be starting, I've had this kitted up for a bit now, and I'm finally starting it because now I have a reason to. But my other start is Rejoice Evermore by Brenda with Thy Needle and Thread. I love this. I was seeing people stitch this and oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. So I love this one so much. I just need to grab, I think I only need one DMC left because for some reason I thought I had already grabbed it, but I guess I didn't. So my fabric for this project is Sugar Cookie from Color and Cotton, 40 count. I picked this up as a pre-order a few months ago. They're gorgeous. My dream is to one day be part of the Color and Cotton Fabric Club, but it's so hard to get into. But let me show you the gorgeous colors of Rejoice Evermore. They're just fantabulous. Look at that. They look so good. I'm so happy. So there's a lot root beer float, classic colorworks, or straw hat, yeah, they're classic colorworks, deep fennel. And then you have your hat, your gassed old red paint. I've never used this floss before, this floss color. That's pretty. Caramel corn, mustard seed. There's also Weeks Dye Works in here. This is my Lonesome DMC. This is actually an AMO thread, so Egyptian cotton. This is 712. I need to find the other one, but should look really good. Otter Creek. Oh, it looks so good. More mustard seed. More Oscar. This one uses 2 skeins of Oscar. This is baked apple. You also need 2. Oh, they just look so good. I'm very excited. What other color? There's a lot of colors in here. So need to put that in a project bag. My other color that I was thinking was, again, another cream and sugar, but I just finished Goodie Grimwood, and so I basically scrapped that because I wanted to do a different fabric, so that's why I ended up choosing Sugar Cookie. So yeah, that is my plan for Sampler September. I hope that y'all also have some fun plans for Sampler September, just because they're so fun, and I love seeing all of your projects that you pick for Sampler September, because it's basically enabling me to look into other samplers out there, and there are just so many. It's so good to see all of these other options, because Sampler September, it's gonna be here for many years to come. So I'm already planning what I will be doing next year. So oh, and I wanted to also note, so for Sampler September, I will be starting off with these projects, and then every single year what I will be doing, and this is something that I borrowed from Brenda, the Handwork Maniac, because this is what she does on her Mania, like Stitch Mania projects, where she basically works on it every single year, and then when she finishes it, then that's when she slots in a new project to start. So I actually really like that idea, and so I'm borrowing that for Sampler September. So I will be starting with these new starts and whips. I will be working on that this year, and then next year, if they are you know, I will continue to work on all of these projects. If I had finished some, then I will have an opening for a new sampler to start, and I do still have a few. Still have a lot left to go through my stash, but that way I get to, you know, really work on the rest of my stash. So really excited for that idea. Okay, so I don't really have much more haul. I just have one. Yeah, that's my haul. Let's see. So story time before we get into my haul. So this is my haul. This is really pretty. This is my Praiseworthy. So I don't have a lot of haul because I had to drop some money into my car because my car almost got like jacked a few weeks ago at my work. By my work, not at my work, by my work. I work in downtown Oakland in California, and I usually park it in a closed garage, which I have, and yeah, I came back like at the end of the day, and yeah, I actually didn't notice until I got home. I had some suspicions, but my husband had a separate theory. So basically what happened, during that day, in the morning, I noticed that our car door was actually left unlocked throughout the entire night. Luckily, I live in a good area, and so no one actually touched my car. My husband just said like, oh, you know, I think I actually forgot to lock it because he went to Costco and he was, you know, coming and going to the car to grab all of the stuff, and I think he forgot to lock it. So I said like, yeah, that's, you know, like, let's just make sure we truly lock the car before, you know, you walk away. So that was that morning. And then, you know, went to work, no problem, parked my car. I heard the car beeped, meaning it locked, and so walked away. So end of the day, I came to the garage to go home, and what usually my car, when you put your hand in the handle, it double beeps, meaning that it just unlocked itself. Well, I did that and it didn't beep, and I was just like, holy moly. And I opened the car, like I just grabbed the handle and it opened, meaning my door was unlocked. And I was like, in my head when that happened, I was like, oh no, is my car actually malfunctioning? Like maybe Jonathan didn't actually leave the car unlocked all night. Maybe he actually closed it, but there was something malfunctioning in my car that it actually didn't close, even though it sounded like it did. Because I remember in the morning it clicked, right? So anyway, then I sat in the car and I pretty much like went like this because the car seat was like pulled all the way back. I am short, okay? I am 5 feet. So when I drive my car, the seat is actually pulled very forward because I am short and I cannot see. And so when that happened, I was just like, holy moly, was someone in the car? Because there is no way I would have left the car like that. And I even put my foot in the pedal because I was like, did I not move the seat this morning? And so I like put my foot to see if it reaches the pedal. It does not. So there is no way that I drove to work in that position. And so I got very freaked out, hightailed out of that garage to go home, and was gonna call Jonathan. And on my way home, I kept hearing this clicking sound in my car. And it sounded like when the door is trying to lock itself, but it's already locked. And so I called him, told him, hop in the car when I get home so you can hear the sound. And, you know, he had an alternate theory. He said, you know, maybe no one was in the car. Maybe the car is malfunctioning and the car seat moved back itself, because, you know, certain cars do that. And so I was like, yeah, okay, maybe that's why. We got home and he was like looking around the car, and guess what? My door handle was actually missing the cylinder. So that's when he was like, oh no, you were right all along. Someone did try to steal the car when you were at work. And so I had to get it replaced, and it costed me over $600 to get this replaced. And so I was like, this just ate my stitchy budget, which sucks. But yeah, that was my story time. Yeah, let me show you what my car handle looks like. And yeah, I need my car washed, but yeah, look, it is missing that piece. Someone literally took it. And I never put my hand there because my hands are small, so I didn't look down. So I didn't notice that. And Jonathan was like, it's missing the bottom. So that sucker costed $600 to get replaced, because I also had to rekey the keys so that I am not carrying 2 sets just to start the car and lock the car. Anyway, that's why my haul is only this thing, I guess, plus the Vicky Clayton. So, but still, that was story time. I hope you enjoyed that. I feel like I never really do any life updates, but I like sprinkling them in through the video. Anyway, so let's go back. I finished the bubbling cauldron, and so I'm ready for my next Praiseworthy. And I couldn't figure out which Praiseworthy I wanted because I have a lot of haunted houses that I've collected over the years. but also there are a lot of good fabrics from XJU. She has these like Halloween collection. Well, I don't know if it's like a true collection, but she has a bunch of these fabrics and I love them so much. I couldn't figure out what I wanted, and I have a lot of haunted houses, so I ended up getting a fat half of 3 colors because they are so good. And she always has a, like, if you spend over 100, you already get free shipping, and she has a 10% coupon at her shop. So this ended up being such a good deal regardless. But I picked up 3 colors. I picked up, they're all 36 counts. So I picked this one up. This is purple. This is like a purpley color. This is called Witch's Brew. Yeah, this is purple. Witch's Brew. This green one, it is so good. This one is called Elixir. And this blue one called Midnight Ride. So I love this so much. Then she also gave me this like ornament size for another one of her like fabrics. This is also 36 count. This is called Early Halloween. Ah, it's so cute. Anyway, so these are my fabric. So I was talking about how I have been kitting up a lot of things, and so first of all, Spooktober in October, what I am going to do is I'm going to be starting the Coraline bag of sack. This is where I had my Sale at the Bubbling Cauldron. It has a new project inside, and my next Praiseworthy project is Bump in the Night. They have the funniest name. This is basically his name. Bump in the Night Farm. I love this. This is huge. This is like the giant house where he lives, and then this is the barn. It is so good. I love this so much. And Praiseworthy actually told me that they are designing another haunted house for their next release, so I'm super excited to see what that looks like. I got the last one that they had, the Esmeralda Academy, but I wanted to start this one first because this is on the older side. I believe this is from 2016. This is the 2016 haunted house, so I'm excited. I also just placed an order for the buttons. I found them at the Silver Needle, and so I just placed an order last night so that I can have it. And I have a majority of the flosses already because I've accumulated a quite good amount of stash, and there's some overlap from Sale at the Bubbling Cauldron, and so some of my I actually didn't use up the full skeins of my Bubbling Cauldron, so I ended up just putting it in this project so that I can save a little bit of money. And on top of that, this, you know, these, so hear me out. I think this is the project I will be starting it on because I think this would look dead on really well. This is like purpley black, so I think this would look really good with this. So this is what I will most likely be starting the project on. And because this is on 36 count, I will be doing 1/1 stitching on this one. The other two that I've done, Sale at the Bubbling Cauldron and Widow Black's B&B, I did 32 count, and both of those are 2/2. I love these projects, but they do have a lot of, you know, over dyes, and they can get quite expensive, so I'm gonna do 1/1 to, you know, help shave some of the cost because some of these have many skeins needed. So for example, for this one, it calls for 2 skeins of aged pewter, 4 skeins of black licorice, 4 skeins of black raspberry jam, 2 skeins of Green with Envy, 2 skeins of Carriage Black. Yeah, there's just a lot of skeins that have like 2 to 3 skeins of crimson. So this is going to be an expensive project if I kit it 2/2. And luckily I do have quite a collection now of my overdye, so I have that cover. But I also, you know, I'd like to say what I can, and so I will be doing this 1/1 so that I only need about half the flosses from the called for. So I'm excited. Yeah, so that's Spooktober. I will be saving this other 2. This also is not, the full half is not needed for this project. I believe this technically fits in, this is at 36. So it says the finished design is 18 by 13. So the stitch count for Bump in the Night is 324 by 251. So it technically fits in a fat quarter. So I think I will just be taking a little bit off the border, like just a little bit more, so I'll have at least 3 inches. So, but yeah, I can probably just do a fat, like I'll probably just do like a fat quarter, and I can save the other half for another project. So excited. All right, and then because I was just planning and I was having fun kitting up all the projects, I just wanted to quickly show you the other projects that I have kitted up. So I have 3 projects in this very cute project bag. So some projects that I will be starting, this is again part of my Spooktober, but I will be starting this one called Lollies, Crows, and Candy Corn. This is another one from Brenda Gervais. It is so cute. I want to stitch this on 32 count. So I am still debating on the fabric, but yeah, so that will be that. And then in November, when I get into like super fall mode, I will be starting Be Ye Thankful, again from Brenda Gervais. I've done 2 of these so far. I've done the Tis Spring and Home Sweet Home. So this is the fall edition, and then I will be picking up Joy and Good Cheer, which is the winter one. And then I also wanted to start this project, I Love Fall Most of All, another Brenda project. I have all of these kitted up, and so I'm excited. I want to stitch all 3 on 32 count, like Shepherd's Bush style, where they do it on 32 count 1/1. It looks gorgeous. And so I don't know what fabric I want to use, if any of these will work, but basically these are all XJU. This is 32 count Rustic Drab. I'm thinking this might be a good one for Be Thankful, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Then this is a 32 count brown paper. And then lastly, I have this cut of Little Bunny, again 32 count, and I have some left over from Home Sweet Home, so I might, I don't know, I might, let's see what I ended up with, but I thought that would be, these would be really good. So I don't know which ones to pick, so I have all 3 in this project bag, so I know that that's what they are meant for. These small ones are usually what I will use a 32 count on, but yeah, because those are fun. We'll see. And then I also, for November, I don't have a project bag yet, but I have had this project kitted up for a very long time now, since last year. This is the Gather In from Plum Street Samplers. It's so good. But I also have this fully kitted up. I just don't have a project bag, and I finally picked a fabric for it. I am thinking of using this 40 count fabric from Cedar River Linens that I picked up a few months ago. This is called Maple Bar, and I thought that the color, I don't know what color that is, but basically the house, it's like white, so I wanted to make sure that it pops, and so I think like this would look really good with that. So a project that I will be starting in November. And then lastly, I'm currently working on a Praiseworthy winter project called Going to Grandma's with my table 4 mates. So I want to finish that this year because I have been wanting, so this is a project bag from Dot Goose for with the up on the mountain like fabric, but I have been wanting to start this project for a while now, and this is the gingerbread cottage drum. You can make it into a drum if you want, or it looks like this if you want it like flat, and I might do this, but it's so cute. So I want to finish Going to Grandma's because it's Praiseworthy is very like for their winter, they also come up with a winter design every single year, and so I want one I want one going at all times, but only one. So I need to finish Going to Grandma so I can start this. I fully kitted this up, not fully actually, I don't have a fabric yet, but I'm thinking something on 36 because this also has 1/1 stitching. But these are the projects like colors so far. It has a lot of overlap with the other winter Praiseworthy projects, so yeah, I'm very excited to start all of these. There's definitely a lot more projects that I want to do. I do want to start that Christmas, I think it's Christmas garden from Blackbird Design. I promised Milka from Mega Stitches that I will sell that with her, so I will be doing that closer to the end of the year. And then there's a bunch more Brenda projects that are really small. I like sprinkling those in because they're just super easy to do. It takes like 2 to 3 stitching days, you're done, then you're able to decorate. So yeah, but those are all my plans so far. I hope that you all enjoy that preview of what I will be stitching. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.